Hey guys, we're gonna look at our homework for tonight, which is to find the volume using our formulas. So you should have your Ready Book page, and we're looking at page number 280, which looks like this. So on it, number one says a gift shop. Oops, sorry, we lost for a minute, but I'm back. So it says some of the dimensions are given in the table, but to find the missing dimensions. So on the very first one, it says the volume is 18, and I need to find my missing dimensions. So you're actually looking at these as a series of dimensions. So you really just want to look at just one of these at a time, not all of them. So I'm only going to look at those numbers. So for instance, on number one, if I know that volume equals length times width times height, and I'm just going to grab a sheet of paper here. So if I know that volume equals length times width times height, I'm going to solve that. And let me go ahead and label this number 4. Volume equals length times width times height. And I'm going to plug in my numbers. So the volume is given to you as 18. The length is an unknown number, so I'm just going to plug in my little variable L. My width is 3. And my height is 2. So you can multiply the two numbers that you do have. So drop it down, 18 is equal to, drop down your variable L. And I can multiply together. 3 times 2 is 6. And so the only thing that I've left, I'm going to make this a cursive L so that you guys tell it's an L. Ta-da. Okay. It's not a 1. So now I need to do is figure out what times 6 equals 18. If I don't know what I could multiply by 6 to get 18, what I could do is I could rewrite it as division. 18 divided by 6 equals what? Very good. In this instance, your length equals 3. So I'm not going to write that. I want you to write that. And the reason I don't write it is because I don't want people to just look at the video and copy. I really want you to be listening. Now I'll look at my next one. 24 is my volume. My length is 2. My width is my unknown variable. And my height is 3. And when I say variable, it just means it don't matter what you put in there. So volume is equal to length times width times height, where my volume is given to me as what? Very good. My volume, sorry guys, a lot of connection issues tonight with this weather. So the volume is 24. My length is 2. My width is, right, that's the unknown dimension that I'm solving for. So I'll just put a W in. And my height is 3. So now I have this expression 24 is equal to 2 times something times 3. Obviously, I can't multiply 2 times W. I can't multiply W times 3. But again, anytime you're multiplying, you can change the order of your factors. So what can you actually multiply? All right, you can multiply 2 times 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. So I just figure out 6 times what is going to equal 24. So 6 times what is 24, or 24 divided by 6 equals what? Right, your width is 24 divided by 6. Your width is 4. Now, I'm not going to do any more on that table, mainly because of connection issues. I don't want to be on here all night and get nothing done. But you would do that same thing for here. Just multiply the two given dimensions and then divide to find your missing. Okay, look at number 5. Number 5 says, how can you make 3 different rectangular prisms using 18 1-inch cubes? Give the length, give the width, and give the height. So when I'm looking at this, it wants me to make 3 different rectangular prisms, meaning I'm going to need 3 different sets with different dimensions. It also tells me that I'm going to have a total of 18 1-centimeter cubes. So that means the volume has to be 18 because, again, we find volume by counting the amount of units. It says I'm live. I don't feel live. Right. Okay. So it says that I can find the volume. It says the volume is 18, and I know that volume is found by seeing how many unit cubes it would take to fill a rectangular prism. So I need to find 3 numbers that can multiply together to equal 18. Now, if you're thinking 9 times 2 is 18, the problem with that is that you only have 2 dimensions, and we're looking for a rectangular prism, which is a 3D figure, so that one would not work. The only instance in which that would work is if I did 9 times 2 times what? What could be the third dimension to give you still 18? Right, times 1. So it would be like maybe 9 high times 2 long times 1 wide or whatever. But that is the only way that would work. 2 is 9. Or I split up 9 by doing 3 times 3 is 9. And then times 2 more. What other ways can you think of? Hmm. 3 numbers that would multiply together to equal 18. Oh, I know that 6 times 3 is 18. Oh, I can't do 6 times 3, but what could I do instead? Right, I could also do 6 times 3 times 1. And if there's any other ways you can think of, take a moment, write them down. Those are the ones that I can think of, but I'm sure there might be more. If you do find another way, perhaps a special treat for going that extra length. Okay, look at the last one I'm going to do with you tonight. Number 6. Jimmy wants to use the container to make a block of ice. Oh, hey, girl. I just had to take a minute anyways, just take a break, just to kind of trip you up. Anyways, back to math. All right, just kidding, huh? Jamie wants to use this container to make a block of ice that has a volume of 600 cubic centimeters. Draw a line that shows to what height she should fill the container with water, which means even though we have this container, I don't know that it's going to be exactly 6. I want to find out. So let me go ahead and circle my important numbers. I got 600, a volume of 600. So I circle the number and what it represents. I don't see any other numbers. I'm going to underline my question, which is telling me what height should she fill the container with? So I need to figure out the height. The height is my unknown. It's wanting me to know what height. So what I do have known is I do know my base. I can find, right, volume is equal to base times my height. I want to find that height. And so if I figure out what my base is equal to, I can divide to figure out how high it's going to be. So your base, again, when I tell you think base, think bottom layer, I can multiply these 2 dimensions here to give me my base or my area. So 15 times 10 is going to give you the base. Or your length times your width is also going to give you the base. Same difference. So 15 times 10 is what? Right, 150. Sup, Ava. So if I take my 600 total volume and divide my base of 150, 600 divided by 150, I'm going to give you a strategy. You gave me the funny emoji eyes. Ah! All right, that was funny. Not really. Just kidding. Okay, anyways. Such a dork. I am. It happens. An easy strategy is you should recognize that because both of these have 0, strategies based on place value would mean that you could actually eliminate a 0 from each of them and they'd still be equivalent in value when we're dividing. So I could do 60 divided by 15, or how many times can 15 go into 60? So you could skip count by 15s, which you should be able to do. You should know your 15s because you should know your clock time. 15, 30, 45, 60. How many times does that go in? 600. The weather is just terrible. Anyways, so I hope you guys have a great night. If you have any questions, comments, if I need to select again tonight, please bring it tomorrow so that you can get it turned in for, okay? Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow.